Dubai Champion Stakes, Newmarket's richest race, and they're on their way. 11-4 Nayef on the off, and the pace looks fairly steady in the early stages. Al Barahin on the outside in the black cap, the white cap Taboo pulling very hard. In the pink is Beckett as they race through the first furlong, and Beckett takes over now from Al Barahin. Taboo, Hawkeye in the all dark blue. Over on the far side is Chancellor pulling hard. On the right is Nayef in the blue and white striped cap, the black and white hooves of Reveline. And then on the extreme right is No Excuse Needed with the pink cap Distant Music, a bit short of room in these early stages. And then back in the pack to Best of the Best, Indian Creek and Carnival Dancer. A rather sluggish first 3 furlongs. Beckett takes them along to Al Barahin in second place with Taboog in third. And then Nayef on the inside in a good position on the heels of the leaders, followed by Hawkeye and Chancellor wider out, and then Best of the Best in the group. They're very well grouped indeed. No Excuse Needed followed with Rebeline and Distant Music, and out the back Carnival Dancer, and Indian Creek now is last of the dozen. They pass the 5 and race to the 4, and this could develop into a bit of a burn up here. Beckett and Al Barahin are in the best position to strike. Taboog in third, Nayef in 4, Rebeline and Hawkeye, and on the wide outside is Chancellor, followed by No Excuse Needed on the fence. Back then to Best of the Best, and then Distant Music, Indian Creek and Carnival Dancer, but only about 6 lengths would cover the lot of them as they run down to the final 3. Al Barahin, the oldest horse in the race, takes over just to Beckett, then Taboog, and then they're queuing up to mount challenges. Nayef will have to get out of trouble. Hawkeye on the outside, Reveline coming through, and then Chancellor. Now they're sprinting inside the final quarter mile. Taboog goes on. Here's Nayef now out of trouble, about to challenge Hawkeye behind these. Indian Creek is coming through from the rear as they race to the final furlong. Taboog just in front, last year's Dewhurst winner on this day. Nayef is tackling him hard on the outside, however. Nayef and Taboog as they battle it out up towards the line, and Nayef's just on top. Nayef from Taboog. Nayef wins the champion from Taboog. Indian Creek a fine third, then Hawkeye, Carnival Dancer and Distant Music, and eventually Chancellor was one from last, and No Excuse Needed was last of all. Well, Nayef has come good at the end of the season where many people thought he would come good right at the beginning of the season. He spent last winter as favourite for the 2,000 guineas. That came too soon for this son of Gulch.
The Dubai Sheema Classic being run at Group 1 level for the first time this year. His narrative goes up into the gate. Nayef comes along and they appear to be set. They're racing in the Dubai Sheema Classic. Exaltation, slow to move, missed it by 2 lengths. Demophilus and Boreal on the inside came out quickly. Sagacity and Ekrar in the centre began well, and Lightning Arrow from his wide gate is going forward. And when they reach the judge the first time, it's Demophilus going to the lead with Ekrar second, Lightning Arrow third, followed by Narrative going forward deep, and Nayef settles on the fence after pace. A half length away, King's Boy. Sagacity is deep, and Taboog out very deep as they make the turn out of the straight. A length away, Boreal on the inside of Elaine Vitality. A half length away came Hot Secret. 2 lengths to Tapple Do, 1 to Montrachet, and Marion Bard had dropped out to the tail of the field. Demophilus the leader, taking them along at a good clip. 1,700 metres left to run. Demophilus out by 2 lengths. Narrative second. A gap of 2 lengths to Lightning Arrow on the outside of Ekrar. A length and a half to Boog. Nayef on the fence, 6 lengths off the pace. A length away came King's Boy, followed by Boreal on the inside of Elaine Vitality. A length away then was Marion Bard making ground, followed by Taboog, Tapple Do, Hot Secret. Montrachet is second last at Exaltation after the slow start, 5 lengths away at the tail of the field. Demophilus and Richard Quinn making it a real test. Highballing down the side and leading by a length and a half. Narrative giving chase in second spot. 3 lengths away is Ekrar on the inside of Lightning Arrow. 2 lengths to Taboog, followed by King's Boy, Nayef on the rail. A length and a half, Elaine Vitality on the outside of Boreal. Then Sagacity, Hot Secret, Marion Bard, Tapple Do. Montrachet is second last, and Exaltation is last in the best part of 12 lengths from the leader as they come to the turn with 600 metres left to go. Demophilus showed the way. Narrative only a length away as they flatten for the run to the judge and the big prize in the Sheema Classic. Nayef's gone to third, about to work into the clear. Ekrar on the outside, then Elaine Vitality, followed by Lightning Arrow, and Taboog is deeper out. Nayef goes up at the 400 metres mark, and Nayef hits Gets the front in the Sheema Classic. Richard Hills drives him clear. Boreal comes out of the pack to run into second spot, followed by Helene Vitality, but it's Nayef in front at the 200 metres mark. Boreal and Helene Vitality are giving chase. Marion Bard on the fence, Nayef in front. They won't catch him. The poster's looming up, and Nayef wins the Sheema Classic. Photo for the miners. Boreal, Helene Vitality, Marion Bard, followed by Ekra, Montrecher, Hot Secret. Then came Demophilus, Tapple, Do, Narrative, followed by Exaltation, King's Boy, Sagacity, Lightning Arrow, and ridden a peach of a race by Richard Hills. Nayef, to the cheers of the crowd, has gone home to capture the Dubai Sheema Classic, being run at Group 1 level for the first time this year, and in his first appearance since winning the Dubai Champion Stakes at Newmarket last October. Nayef comes to Dubai, and after all of the speculation about where he'd run, he's finished in the Dubai Sheema Classic, and the pick has been 100% correct. Nayef has
Nibbles for Indian Creek at 16 and 14 to 1. You get any price against the rag, that's Starborn, and Chancellor's a 33 to 1 chance. But Nayef now really good.
And away they go. We're expecting Starborn in the red cap to make the running here in the hands of Shane Kelly. And what could be a tactical affair here. It'll be fascinating to see how it pans out. Nayef going off the 6 to 4 favourite of Golan at 9 to 4, second in the betting, and Novair at 7 to 2 as they race through the first furlong and a half. Starborn from Chancellor on the inside, Nayef in the blue and white jacket on the outside. Then on the inner is No Excuse Needed, the light blue of Golan, who's taking a keen tug with Kieran Fallon, and then Indian Creek, and finally Novair in the blue of Godolphin at the rear of the 7-runner field. Down the back straight they go, Starborn from Chancellor. One or two of the other horses pulling quite hard in these early stages. Starborn by a length and a half to Chancellor. Nayef is third, and then another length and a half to No Excuse Needed from Golan, followed by Novair on the outside of Indian Creek, making the long left-hand turn at the far end of the course as they head for the final 5 furlongs. Starborn with Chancellor drawing to within a half length. Nayef is obliged to race 3 horses wide, followed by Golan, who goes 4th. Kieran Fallon not letting the front trio get too far ahead, followed by No Excuse Needed, the white-faced Novair, and finally Indian Creek. Down the straight then with 4 furlongs left to cover in the Jubilant International. Nayef looms up on the outside now of Chancellor, and the pacemaker Starborn being driven along. Golan is 4th, followed by No Excuse Needed, and Novair and Indian Creek now trying to cut through the pack. Less than 3 furlongs to cover. Nayef and Richard Hills strike the front now. Golan is on turns, but he's hard at work, but he does stay very well, followed by Novair as they run for the final quarter mile. Chancellor's back behind these, then Indian Creek and Starborn. He pulls the whip now on Nayef, Richard Hills, and Golan is challenging again. The King George 1st and 2nd, they're 1st and 2nd again. Novair is 3rd, Indian Creek in behind them, searching for racing room and searching for pace. It's Nayef and Golan. Nayef's just ahead of Golan. Golan won't go down without a struggle, but Nayef is going to exact his revenge, and Nayef wins this time. From Golan is 2nd, Novair is 3rd, Indian Creek 4. They were clear of Chancellor and Starborn, and No Excuse Needed completely tailed off in the end. Something wrong with him. Nayef has turned the tables on Golan here at York. Nayef, the 6 to 4 favourite and winner of this Group 1 Jubilant International, sent on a couple of furlongs out by Richard Hills.
But Moon racing in the Prince of Wales's, and on the inside it's Islington is one of the first away. Ekraz missed the kick on the inner and is now trying to get around horses to go up and do his job, but Moon Ballard jumped well and is going to lead on, settling down for Frankie by a length and a half to Ruckty, and further back then on the outside Nayef. Ekraz missing the start though poses problems because they're all waiting for him. There he is around the outside, the pacemaker. Islington in behind them on the inside from Felbrav, and back in the field too at this stage is Grandira, who settles out the back with Olden Times as they race into Swindley Bottom. Kyatur and Paolini at the rear. rounding that corner. And now Accra goes up on the outside to put on a bit of pace, but Moon Ballard's done all the donkey work so far. Leads by a couple of lengths to in third, Rakti on the inside, and the Gary Tanaka green and yellow. They're about 3 or 4 lengths in advance now of Islington, travelling on the inside of Nayef with a striped cap. On the right is Falbrab, and further back in the field the white cap of Grandira. A gap in the field of 2 lengths to Paolini as they pass the 5. Then Olden Times to the outside, and further back Kayatur. Starting the stiff uphill climb towards home. Moon Ballad on the left. Hasn't been an ideal race so far from Ekrar, and now Nayef joining in on the outer has loomed up to take a narrow lead. So it's Nayef and Moon Ballad together from Rakti. Behind them on the outside in fourth is Grandira getting close from Islington. Then Falbrav. Further back as Ekrar has dropped back through the field. Rounding the home turn though, Moon Ballad and Nayef together, stride for stride, 2 lengths to Rakti. Then on the outside, Grandira called on for an effort. Further back, Falbrav and Paolini, Olden Times, and then Islington now getting into the clear. Inside the 2, Nayef the first to strike for home from Rakti. Islington trying hard in third, followed then by Falbrav and Kayatur. It's Nayef giving plenty though with a furlong to go. Rakti trying hard to reel him in. Here's Islington with one last surge as they come up with 100 yards to go. It's Nayef, though, is too good for them. Nayef's day, 2 or 3 in front and wins the Prince of Wales Stakes. Nayef is a good horse. Second, Rakti. Third, Islington, a good run. Followed then by Olden Times and Falbrab from Kayatur, Paolini, Grandira, and then Moon Ballad and Accra. Well, he'll be hanging his head in shame after that. The winner is number 7. Nayef, owned by Hamdan Al Maktoum, trained by Marcus Tregoning and ridden by Richard Hills. Second, Rakti. Third is Islington. Fourth is Olden Times. Then in fifth, we see Falbrav. In sixth, Kayatur. Seventh is Grandira. In eighth is Paolini. And in ninth is Moon Ballad. And 10th and last, we see Accra.